Alright, what's up guys? Coming on here with another Houston Texans video. So the NFL draft happened this past weekend. Started Thursday, second, third round was Friday, fourth through seventh round was Saturday, and pretty excited with who the Houston Texans selected. I think they based it on needs, not too much on needs, but filled holes that we have and added a lot of depth to positions that we need depth at. So I'll pretty much go over pick by pick, what picks I really liked, if I was really high on a pick, and what they need to do from here. So starting off first round, 16th selection, they picked Kevin Johnson, cornerback from Wake Forest. Johnson's about 6 feet, 188 pounds. I think they have him listed as, but once he gets in the pros, I see him being at least 200 pounds. NFL uh, weight training and stuff like that, he could easily get up to 200 pounds. He's a physical corner. He will come up and make a hit if he needs to. During these highlights, I've seen he can come up and get the ball if he needs to. Play the ball, plays the ball as a play the receiver, which is well. And on screen stuff like that, he'll come up and hit you when he needs to, lay the boom down. So I think this is a good pick. I think this is more foreshadowing to next season because Jonathan Joseph's contract will be done at the end of the season. I don't see the Texans re-signing him. So this year he could play the slot or the two. It matters what they do with Kareem Jackson. He thrived better last season in the slot. So I could see Joseph at the one, Johnson at the two, with Jackson in the slot. And next year then they have Jackson Johnson, and then maybe Jackson Johnson and like Boye, one of them, and then have Kareem just stay in the slot because that's when he's played his best in the slot corner. So I think Johnson's a good pick. It's more depth. And when you're going against Andrew Luck on the Colts, the teams that we have, and that's one of the best teams that we have to beat every year, who throw the ball. They torched us in the air, especially last season. At least the first game they did. Uh, we need defense and we need corner. So that's a good pick right there. If I had to give it a grade, I'd probably give it a B, B plus. Wasn't a huge need. It helped depth wise. Kind of like Marcus Peters a little bit better, but I don't think Johnson's far off. He could be better. Some people have him their highest corner. I like Peters a little bit better, but it's what it is. I think it's a good pick, and he's a good player, so I'll give it a B, B plus. Next pick, second round, number 43, Bernardrick McKinney, inside linebacker, Mississippi State. So I was sitting there watching the draft at home, and Houston, I think they were like 51st or something like that, trade up, and it was right. I think it was a couple picks after Denzel Perryman got picked. I was like, all right, I wonder who they're gonna pick. I really like McKinney. I really like Eric Kendricks too, and Houston picked McKinney, and I can't complain. I like Bernard McKinney. He's a big linebacker. He's 6'5" ish, 245 pounds. He can run. I think he ran the 4.6 at the combine, but his pro day ran the 4.8s, which is pretty fast for that big of a linebacker. At Miss State, he played inside and outside, so I think Houston liked him more as a versatility guy because he's big enough to play inside and outside, and he has the speed to do that as well. So he should easily start day one at linebacker, inside linebacker with Cushing or with Muhammad, whoever it is. I think he should start right away. Or I've seen people say maybe if Clowney isn't healthy by that time, they can start him off at outside linebacker. And then once he's back, then they can switch him to inside linebacker because he's versatile enough to play outside and inside. I've seen highlights of him playing outside, and he looks pretty good as well. So I think he's good. He can stop the run. Not the greatest coverage guy, but as an inside linebacker at 250, he's pretty well at that. And I think he's a Crennel guy. He's a come up and hit your run stuffer. And with Will Fork in front of him and Watt and Jared Crick, I think he can excel on this defense because they're gonna eat the holes up, and he's just gonna come up and fill the gaps, and make plays. I think this is a good pick. I'd give this pick an A. It's probably my favorite pick of the draft. He's probably my favorite player that we got. Jalen Strong's a close second, but I really like Bernardrick McKinney, so I'll give the Texans an A on this pick. Next pick, third round, 70th overall selection. Houston trades up again, gets Jalen Strong. Honestly, I was surprised that Strong slipped to the third round. I was surprised he slipped in the second round. He had a wrist injury or something with his wrist, but supposedly doctors cleared him and said he's fine. And I don't know why he slipped so far. Maybe teams are worried about the wrist injury, but after Tyler Lockett got picked, Houston traded up and got Jalen Strong. He's about 6'2", 220, big receiver, makes great catches. They say his route running's not the greatest, but that's something you can improve on when you're in the NFL, and I think he'll easily be the second receiver on this team. We'll have Hopkins, Strong, Cecil Shorts, and then Nate Washington could easily be the four. And I think those veterans are better guys that he can learn from. And DeAndre Hopkins not that big of a veteran, but Nate Washington's definitely a veteran he can learn from. And I think this is a great pick. They need a receiver, and they didn't have to stretch in the first round again when they kind of got a steal in the first round and from the player that should have been in the first round and fell in the third round. So I give this pick an A as well. Um, I like McKinney more, but Strong's he's a good player. He can come and get the ball. I think he's great. So I like McKinney a little bit better, but Strong's good as well. Fifth round, 175th pick. This is definitely the worst pick of the draft. Picked Keith Mumphrey, receiver from Michigan State. I haven't heard anything about him, and I haven't seen much about him. He's a small receiver, he's not that fast, and I just don't see why they would pick him when they already have they're after Strong, their receiving core is pretty solid as it is, and how is he going to contribute to the team? Like, I don't think he's that fast. I don't know how fast he really is, but I think they're going to keep a receiver on this team to be a returner. They would have Demarius Johnson, who's really fast. So I don't know this month-free pick. They said that Houston's the only one that worked him out. Maybe they see something that the media doesn't. I wasn't a big fan of this pick because I don't think he really has a spot on this team, really. So I'd give this like a C or a D. I think it's, unless he has something that I don't know about, I think this is pretty a wasted pick. They could have easily gotten offensive lineman. Any of the offensive linemen, I think probably center or guard would have been ideal, because we don't know how the other linemen that we have this year, like Brooks and Siafulu and Ben Jones, are going to be at center and guard. So I think we could have easily got a depth guy in the fifth round, but I guess they wanted another receiver. Sixth round, pick 211, the Texans selected Rashard Cleat, outside linebacker from South Florida. He's a little small. I think they had him like 6'2", 225, 230. It's pretty small for a linebacker, especially Texans like a bigger linebacker. But I think he's going to be more of a speed rusher, and I think obviously they can bulk him up when he gets to the pros. I think this is just a depth pick right here. He really wasn't. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't like he was probably a fifth or sixth round pick, talent. So I don't think it's that big of a big pick, but he can definitely contribute on special teams. Maybe if he can develop a little bit more, maybe he could come in as on a third and long speed rusher. I think that's highly doubtful, but it is what it is. They just need depth, and outside linebacker needs depth, so I think it's a depth pick, and I'd probably give it like a C plus B minus, just fill in depth, which you kind of need. Sixth round, 216. This is probably one of my other favorite picks. Christian Covington, defensive end from Rice. So this kid had a good season at Rice, got injured, and he still ran a 4.89 at the combine. He got injured in November with a kneecap injury and came back in March and ran a 4.89. He has hell of a talent. He's a hell of a talent, and he can make plays. Show his highlights catching Johnny Manziel and all this other stuff. They had him out of the third or fourth round grade due to the injury. Slipped to the sixth round and concerns, but in the sixth round, this guy's talent that could possibly help you, especially third round talent. In third round, you're still looking for starters at that point. I think this kid could be a great rotational guy this season if he steps it up and can outplay Jeffrey Pagan, the other defensive end. Maybe after this season they let Jared Crick go if he doesn't perform, and have Covington play. I think him and Pagan will be big rotational guys this year, and that's big because Watt never gets off the field. So if these guys can produce a little bit, give him more time, or get Jared Crick rotation, just rotation. Even maybe put this kid at D tackle if Wilfork's getting tired. I think they picked Pagan. I think they picked him, just rotational guys, and that's what we need right now in this defensive line. It's strong enough that it can make plays, but during long drives and stuff like that, they're going to need breaks. So I think that's a good pick. I'd give it probably a B for the sixth round. It's pretty good. And the last pick, Kenny Hilliard, running back from LSU. So last year we picked Alfred Blue in the 6th round from LSU. This year we picked Kenny Hilliard from LSU, 7th round, and I can't complain about the pick. He's about, I don't know how tall he is, but he's about 220 pounds. He's a physical runner, and he slipped to the 7th round. He didn't really play this much. Leonard Fournette, the rookie or freshman running back, was the #1 prospect, came to LSU, so Hilliard didn't play that much. But in the goal line, I think he could be a big weapon, but I think it might foresee him struggle to maybe even make the team because they signed Chris Polk, they have Blue, they have Aaron Foster, Hilliard. They usually carry around 4 running backs as it is, so I wouldn't be surprised if he beat out Jonathan Grimes, but Grimes has played pretty well the last couple seasons when he's been on the roster, so I think Hilliard has a lot to prove, and I think it might be hard for him to beat out a couple other guys, but all in all, I think this draft class is pretty good. Only pick I was really questioning was definitely the Keith Mumphrey pick. We could have used offensive line, and they didn't really address that. They did obviously sign a few offensive linemen in undrafted free agency, but they could be good, but it's like undrafted guys aren't usually graded that high, so I guess maybe if they come and work their ass off, they'll be fine. They have a couple other good pickups in undrafted free agency. I like Tony Washington from Oregon. He's not too bad. Um, there's another guy that was outside linebacker from Norfolk State. I think they're just bringing a lot of outside linebackers because we need the depth. And then even though they picked Cleat, if he can't outplay these guys, then they just replace him because outside linebacker right now we only really have uh, Clowney who's hurt, Merciless, John Simon, and can't think of his name. And he played last season too, like Brower or one of them, like one of those rotational guys that we usually cut and then they come back. And so we do need depth at outside linebacker. And if either kids can come in and make the team, maybe contribute. You just want these guys to come in and contribute. Jason Ankren, I think he was on the team last year. Who's the kid I was thinking of? I don't know who I was thinking of, but I think this roster is deep enough that we can easily make a run in the playoffs. Schedule's kind of, I don't want to say kind of easy because it's pretty easy, but we have to obviously come out every week and fire off and play our hardest, obviously. But I think this roster is built enough that whoever the quarterback is, which I'm going to presume it's going to be Brian Hoyer. I like Mallett, but Hoyer's more ready right now. He has the accuracy, his arm strength's not bad, and he can read a defense. He brought that. He had a pretty bad Browns team, and they were 7-9 before they went to Manziel. They were good. They were good when he started, and then they tried to bring in Manziel, and I don't know why. And he has more weapons on his team. They have a better defense, and I think he knows the Bill O'Brien system enough that he'll beat out Ryan Mallett. Will I be pissed if Mallett wins the battle? No, but I think Hoyer's going to beat him out. Hoyer's the one right now that can bring us to the playoffs. If you have any questions or anything that I've said, just fill up in the comments section. And besides that, let's go Texans.